Hello and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk. It's September 23, 2023. I am Daniel Blake. Thank you so much for joining me for the final time on Sports Talk. I know that I said it's another edition because Sports Talk was here before me and will continue after me. But like you've heard in the promos, or maybe if you didn't hear the promo, this is officially my last show. So today, I am going to try my best to, give you some good moments before I go, some untold stories about the show. I'll have some very special guests, one looking through the mirror right now, freaking me out. But I'll introduce them very shortly after that 1:15 break. So if you want to see what's going on, you can tune in on YouTube and Facebook on Love FM's pages. I'm here. Funny enough, I'm going to tell you that story as well because I think, is this shirt that you wear the first day? It don't even matter. It don't even matter. When you just go on Love FM Jamaica, I am live right there on YouTube and Facebook. And if you never download the app, I've been here since December 2021, and I've been telling you to download the app. So, as one of my final wishes, please, if you have your smartphone, you're connected to Wi-Fi or data, if you're on your tablet, whatever smart device you have, go into your app store, Google Play or Apple, whichever device you have, because you might have Android or Apple. Download the Love FM app, please, because you can listen to me live there. And because of the podcast feature that it has, you can listen to the show again, recommend it to a friend, even though they won't be hearing me anymore going forward. But, I mean, Sports Talk is the place to be, and you can listen to every other Love FM program. So please download the Love FM app. If you want to listen to the show a different way, you can go on the internet, love101.org, or if you've been doing it the old-fashioned way all the time, fine by me. Love FM 101.1 all the way to 101.9, depending on where you are on the island. Also, you can stay connected with me, 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. You can send your final messages to me. Please don't be emotional. If you want to be, you can, but but you can also send me things about sports as well. 876-997-3125. I've never done a farewell show before, so this is a little awkward for me, I must admit. And by the way, if if this is your first time listening to the show and you want to hear about a sporting issue today or what's happening in sports, I really apologize, but today is unfortunately not that day. But what I will tell you is the Reggae Girls, unfortunately, they lost 2-0 to Canada last evening at the National Stadium, which means that they have an uphill task to qualify for the Paris Olympics. They play Canada in Canada on Tuesday. So for my Canadian friends, if you're listening, go out and support the Reggae Girls. Unless you support Canada, then go watch Canada, which means you would also be watching Jamaica. But one thing that's important to note as well is that away goals matters. So even though Canada won by 2-0, you can technically say they won by 3-0 because the away goal rule means that they have that advantage. Now, the Reggae Girls go into Canada and, for example, they win 3-1, so it would finish 3-3 on aggregate, but the Reggae Girls would qualify because they have, one on away goal. So they would have 3 away goals compared to Canada's 2 away goals. So hoping that we'll be able to see the Reggae Girls at the Olympics next year, because I know that we are usually used to seeing our track and field athletes, or swimmers most recently. UNI Wisdom in diving. We've had representation in gymnastics with Tony and Williams and Danusha Francis. So it would be great to see them. So look out and watch the Reggae Girls on Tuesday. All right, so I usually do my sports bits before I get into my monologue, but I'm just going to go straight into the final one ever here on Sports Talk.
Connection established. It's time for Daniel's weekly monologue.
I'm Ariel Brown Blake.
I'm Dave Blake.
I'm Hope Blake.
I'm David Blake.
And it's time for the Danielog.
The Danielog.
The Danielog.
The Danielog.
I will love it. And I think I deserve it.
So I don't think I've ever told you the story about how the Danielog came about. So since it's the final show, I'm going to give you all my secrets, all of them that can fit in 2 o'clock, because I have 2 talkers with me today on the show. So who knows? We'll see how that one goes. But so 2021, before I started the show, so I started the show in December 2021, my friend Sheldon Llewellyn, big up yourself, Shells, he has his own show on another station. And they were talking about a particular topic, and he wanted me as a guest. So he brought me on. But before he started the discussion segment, he had his monologue. And the monologue, literally, it blew my mind, because I know Sheldon from university, and I know his personality. He's extremely hilarious. He does a lot of creative things, and I remember him giving his monologue about an actual topic, and it was like, wow. Even though he was educating the listeners and the viewers, it was Sheldon. Like you could tell that this was him. It was his personality. He wasn't, like some people try to put on a front because they are on radio, so you have to be like super professional and talk about things in the proper way. It was strictly Sheldon. And I remember leaving that day thinking, wow, I would love to do something similar. And then I got the opportunity here at Love, and the very first show I decided to do my monologue. But I wanted it to have a very creative name because, as you know, Daniel is a little creative. maybe more than a little bit. I'm trying to be humble. But you realize when people say I'm trying to be humble, they end up not sounding humble. So I came up with the name that instead of calling it Daniel's monologue, let's just fuse the two and call it the Danielog. You see, hey, I really should have like some applause sound effects or something. So yeah, I started the Danielog. The very first one I spoke about the mercy rule in sports, because at the time there were a lot of stories coming about teams. Remember Manning and the Costa Cup teams, them did I get 15-0, 20-0, all of them things, and some schools had actually forfeited from the Manning and the Costa Cup because them did I get some hammering. And I did my monologue and I said the mercy rule makes no sense, because what the mercy rule would mean is that once you reach a certain goal amount, so for example, it's 4-0, you can use the mercy rule and the game just ends 4-0 so that you don't embarrass your opponent. And I thought that was such nonsense. Fast forward to earlier this year, because along with that monologue that I did and a few others, I ended up getting nominated for a National Journalism Award for opinion journalism. You see, I really need that applause sound effect. I'm going to download it, but I'm not going to use it ever again because, as you know, it's my final day. But I got nominated, and it was a humbling experience, because I don't need validation from people, because I do believe that the work that I try to put out, or the work that I put out, I try for it to be as, great as possible, that I give you as much facts, but also that it's entertaining, that, you can have an interest in it because it sounds real. So I don't need validation, but getting that award was a form of validation, because it was like, oh, other people really respect my views, to the point where I was nominated in a field where opinion journalism, according to several people I spoke to, it was the first time that sports-based opinion piece was nominated for the award. And yeah, I've enjoyed doing it, because growing up, I always wanted to give my opinion on sporting topics, but I didn't have my I didn't have my own sports commentary. I didn't have my own vlog or anything like that about sports. And to know that I have, or after today, had an award nominated monologue monologue series is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And the point that I hope that you take from this is that believe in yourself and what you do. Once you're able to do it and love it, and don't do it quarter-heartedly. No, usually people say half-heartedly. Don't do it quarter-heartedly, because sometimes you can get away with it if you do it half-heartedly. And I say that because, the popular term is the glass half empty or half full. Some people will have different views. But if it's quarter empty, nobody not going to say it's quarter full. If you get what I'm saying. Like, so the juice almost done. Nobody going to think, say, it's going to come up. Anyways, I realize I don't make sense a lot of times, but I think I make sense. But everything that you do, just love it, have a strong passion for it, and you will be rewarded, maybe not necessarily with an actual award or a nomination, but I remember people used to stop me in certain places and say, hey, I love your show, I love your monologue. And I was like, but I'm on radio. How you can recognize me? But I assume that they watch YouTube and Facebook. But yeah, it's been amazing giving my sporting views in this segment. And I hope that whatever you do, that you just put your heart into it, and people will see your good work. Trust me. They will. And I hear how everything sounds emotional. By the way, at no point will I cry, so don't expect any of that today. This is going to be a very happy show, as much as it is an emotional show. But we have so much to come, including the best of sports talk. I've had some amazing guests on the show. So We're gonna play a feature about that, and then I'm going to have two people who I really have to thank because every time I call them available. And they're going to do one more crazy thing before I leave here. But you are tuned into Sports Talk. It's my final show. Remember, 876-997-3125 is the WhatsApp number. You can send in your messages there, or if you're on YouTube and Facebook, you can leave your comments there. I will ensure to read some of those right after this break. So stay with us here on Sports Talk.
Business leaders, this is it. Join us at Live to Lead. The #1 global leadership conference is back. Friday, October 6, 2023 at the Terra Nova Hotel. This is your chance to elevate your leadership skills and accelerate your business with real solutions. Featuring John C. Maxwell, the #1 leadership guru in the world. Designer and multi-billionaire Kendra Scott, Ryan Leake, Audrey Hinchcliffe. Register now at livetoleadjamaica.com or call us at 876-438-1135. Live to Lead Jamaica is sponsored by Love 101, Intentional Growth LLC, I Bring Digital, and Creative Brands and Concepts.
What does a strong Jamaica mean to you?
It means a Jamaica in which everybody have a house, no matter them income, where citizens can say the words "I own" and back up them chat with a title.
Where everybody have access to water and good road run through every part of the island. A Jamaica with first-class ports and factory space for accommodate enough investments and jobs.
Where policies and laws work to protect our environment for future generations and to slow the impacts of climate change.
So how are we going to achieve all them things?
So now one ministry and its agencies.
The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
This is Asafa Powell, one of the fastest men in the world, and you're listening to Love 101, your family station.
Welcome back to Sports Talk here on Love 101, the family station. It is my final show here, so please don't cry wherever you are. There's nothing to cry about. I am okay. At the end of the show, I'll give you some information. But 876-997-3125. That's our WhatsApp number, 876-997-3125. You can leave your messages or your comments there, or you can go on YouTube and Facebook and let me know what's going on. Marion and Michael saying, blessed good afternoon to you, Danielle. Thank you so much. Joy Roberts and Vinetta Scott saying, job well done. Thank you, Vinetta. And she sent some crying emojis. I told you don't cry, Vinetta. Liani says, hi, Danielle. We'll miss you. Loved what you have brought to the show. That actually means a lot. Primrose Gentles saying, your show was educated and very informative from the sports world. Enjoyed a lot. God bless you and your family as you go. Primrose. Let me just show it on the screen right there. So it's out there in the world, knowing, because some people think I make up comments, By the way, that's an untold story that I'm going to tell about comments as well. And it sort of involves Tiffany, who I'll introduce at some point. Paulette Stevenson says, I will miss this voice at this time every Saturday. Oh, Paulette, don't make me start crying. Ingrid York saying, that's a big nugget. Is one of his Burger King or Wendy's you're eating, Ingrid. David Blake, my brother, says, all the best to you, Daniel, on your new journey. David has also been very part of the show as well, because anytime I call David to do some foolishness, he's been on. Carolyn saying, wow, Daniel, this is on WhatsApp, by the way. Wow, Daniel, I will miss what you have brought to the show. Some great guests. Loved sharing my pics with you as well. Carolyn, be very specific. Loved sharing my pictures with athletes with you as well. I don't want to get in trouble with my wife. Wishing you all the best in your new endeavors. May God continually bless you and prosper you wherever you go. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much. Good afternoon and all the best. Cherry says, it's been a very good run. I really appreciate your knowledge and views on sporting topics and sports itself. And I really enjoy the Daniel log. Oh my gosh. That was you and your very creative, your own style, your own mark. That's you and your God-given abilities. Cherry, I said, me not go ball, you know. Congratulations on your award, which I don't have, but I know what you mean. All the best in your future dreams and endeavors. Thank you so much. Sonia says, congrats, Daniel. Great job and big up. You will be missed. I listen to you almost every Saturday when home, and knowing that we have a lot of Saturdays, to know that you listen almost every Saturday, I appreciate it. Suzette says, it was a good run, going to miss your voice at 10 o'clock on Saturdays. I don't recall being on 10 o'clock, but I think that might have been a typo. So 1 o'clock on Saturdays. Thank you so much, Suzette. Sandy says, gonna miss your show. You're gone already. Yeah. All right. So I did mention that I have some untold stories. No, Tiffany and Kathy, I know that you're not on the mic as yet. Do you think I should tell one of the untold stories before I go into my feature?
Yes, please.
All right. I soon going to introduce Tiffany and Kathia. All right. So the main untold story that I will tell you involves my very first interview with Asafa. No one knows this apart from my wife. So I don't know if you know, but one of my major dreams in life was to have my own sports talk show. So thank you so much, Love FM. Even though this is Love FM's property, again, it started before me, will continue after me. But to host my own sports show was one of my dreams. And I always said one of my first guests has to either be Kobe Bryant or Asafa Powell. No, unfortunately, the Kobe Bryant one couldn't work out. Rest in peace, Kobe. Miss you so much. But the Asafa one was very plausible. So I found out that I was doing the show in November. So I had to try my very best to get Asafa. Now, I had to go through several people, but I eventually got to one of his representatives, and he was more than willing. And it was very strange at the time. Not that he accepted the interview, but Asafa wasn't doing many interviews at the time. This was Asafa, who was just starting YouTube. So Asafa wasn't really doing interviews with media like that. And he said yes. And at the time, remember, it was still COVID, so we had to do it over Zoom. I was as nervous as could be. So Asafa is on Zoom, and I'm freshest tea. In the feature that I'll play, he'll be in there, so you'll see. I make sure I have on my decent black shirt, I have on my chain, so Safa thinks, me not look broke or nothing, that look kind of fly, So so before the interview starts, we're talking, and I make a joke about his YouTube and everything. And so the interview starts, we're about 4 or 5 minutes in, and guess what? Internet drop. Internet comes back, we start interview again, internet drop. And this happens maybe 2 or 3 more times, and I have not moved off the question that I asked him. And then the internet is completely gone. So my wife, in her great mind, says, use my mobile hotspot. I was like, babes, that's why I married you. Use the mobile hotspot, we connect. The mobile hotspot does not work. And at this point, I don't know what to do. So I reached back out to his representative, because I don't have Asafa's personal number. I had just given her the Zoom link, which she sent to him, and he showed up. So by the way, if Asafa never show up, I'd just be on that Zoom link, just like looking on Zoom, and like, what time Asafa going to come? Which says a lot about Asafa, by the way. So I reached back out to the rep and I say, the internet is just giving me trouble. And she says, all right, here's his cell number. Now, for anybody out there who don't know athletes or don't know famous people in general, they do not give out their personal numbers. By the way, I'm not famous. I don't give out my personal number either. She gives me his personal number, and he said he had no issue. So my wife, once again, great idea. She says, all right, call him with my phone and use your phone to record the audio. And we did the interview. I'd love to play that again sometime. But the interview was great. He told me some stories that he had never said before, gave me some great insight, and it was fantastic. Now, let me tell you why. And by the way, I believe in God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I am a Christian, yes. Let me tell you, I 100% believe that the devil tried to not make this interview happen. Why? My internet never give trouble from the time I moved there. Never. But and this is Jamaica, so no. Flow never give me no trouble yet. And one day it gave trouble. And by the way, you know, as the interview ended, the internet come back. My wife's mobile hotspot, it always works because I think it's Digicel she did have. And it just so happened that it just now worked that day. But Satan lose again. But yeah, it was, I was discouraged for a very short period. But I'm so happy it worked out. And let me tell you how it ended up working out even better. So in December, November, December, I worked on the CVM World Cup panel. Asafa was there at Girl Guide because they had a viewing party for all the matches. And Asafa came to the set. And you know, say, the man remember me? My favorite athlete in life remembered the interview that he did with me. And him did remember, so we did have the internet problems and things. You can imagine that? So I ended up giving Asafa a very memorable interview. And what, you see, I sounding religious, but what the devil thought he was ending up, you know, trying to do by not making it happen, Asafa ended up remember me just because of that. And, you know, so that is my one of my untold stories. And by the way, them never extend my time to 3 o'clock, so I can't tell my other stories like how Shelly Ann was almost here, and that's gonna have to be in like my, what you call it, is autobiography. Yeah, I'm gonna do it in my autobiography. Speaking of that, Asafa has been one of my many guests. Not bragging, I've just had a lot of guests. When you have a show for almost 2 years, you have to have guests. So I'm going to play you my Best of Sports Talk feature where I interviewed the likes of Asafa Powell. Guys, can you be like my background noise and applause? All right, so let me do this again. So I've interviewed Asafa Powell. Is who next in the video? I believe the next person in the video should be Alia Atkinson. Woo! And then Sharon Simpson. Woo! Karen Stewart. Woo! Janiel Fowler. Woo! And Frederick Dakers. Woo! They're just in this video. I've done a lot more, but because we do have the time. So let's, you know, that's amazing. So let's get into this Best of Sports Talk feature, starting with the man who, you know, was so gracious in his interview with me, Asafa Powell. Had his last race at the National Stadium. You don't think that you'd want something like that, like in 2022, where you can just sort of tell the fans thanks, because basically everybody loves you and appreciates what you have done for the sport and for Jamaica. So wouldn't you want that last hurrah?
I mean, you know, I definitely want
something memorable, because I've dedicated my entire track and field to Jamaica, and I've had a good career, and definitely people show a lot of support, and they have been there with me through, thick and thin. So definitely, I want something like that. So like I said, something is coming. We're just making sure that we plan it properly, and like I said, maybe something like what you're saying did, might be a real good opportunity to put down the towel.
So possibly no attempt at going to one of the major championships, just maybe a farewell race and that's it.
Well, maybe, because I mean, I've had a long career, and
yeah,
for the last 2 years, I've been deciding if I want to go on or if I want to, retire now, or do I want to go with a bang, or do I want to continue running and maybe get injured and then, this young upcoming athletes, start beating me and stuff like that. And, I have to think about, things like that, so, I want to retire as, one of the most influential athletes, in the world, and someone that all these young kids can still look up to.
When I retired, a couple of the younger swimmers, they're like, "Oh wow, so you're retired? You get the easy life now." I was like, "I have to find a job. I don't have money just laying around." But it's that idea that once you're a professional athlete, once you're elite, you made it big. You're in the big box. Mm-hmm. And in swimming itself, not just Jamaica, in swimming itself, our biggest one was Michael Phelps, and he still ranks maybe top 200 of all sports, like not even in the first 100. Mm-hmm. And look how much things he did.
Yeah.
So it definitely is a struggle. And I'm so grateful for the fact of Grace Kennedy Money Services taking me on when they did in 2014, 2015, 2013, actually, before the world record, which is a testament to themselves. They saw the potential in me. But the fact that they took me on that early and kept their sponsorship all the way to my retirement is fantastic. But outside of Grace Kennedy and Speedo, which is another thing, Speedo suits are really expensive. So to have that... Yes. So to have that and tick that box off definitely helped my finances. But outside of those two companies, nobody really stayed with me throughout the whole career. And so, yeah, I was in limbo kind of. I never trained in Jamaica, so a lot of companies never wanted to sponsor somebody not there. So them cast them and do all of that visual stuff. And where I was traveling and training, it's hard to sponsor somebody where you're not even representing them country. So what's the point? So I felt like I was in limbo for a little bit, but World Cups was essential for me to be able to swim properly. It was funny. I raised enough money, and thank God for Casey, actually. The KCO boys, them came together, them got me money for suits, and them got me money to go to World Cups. So I went to the first World Cup, actually. They paid my way to one World Cup. And then from there, I made sure I made enough money to pay them back. And then not only that, made enough money to go to the next World Cup. So a lot of the countries, them pay for them athletes to go to the meets. Or if you make enough money, then you can pay back the country. But at least them pay you way there. Mm-hmm. I was the complete opposite. So I had to raise money to get to the World Cup. And then from there, it's like Germany. Then find money, make enough money there to pay for my next one to go to... China. And then that continued for the entire nine meets. So whereas other people doing it for fun, I was literally doing it not to come out in the red and just find my way and find a plane ticket to come back home. So yeah, I think because of that, the passion and the struggle to survive and the struggle to fight definitely helped me to keep on swimming and just to do the best that I can each time. I didn't really have a meet. I raced just to race.
A historic moment hearing the national anthem, seeing yourself, Veronica Campbell-Brown, Tanya Lawrence, Aileen Bailey. Even looking back at it now, what kind of feeling does that bring, knowing that you guys were essentially the trendsetters?
Listen, you spoke about that uniform. I mean, 2 days before we had the uniform out, we were trying them on. And, for me, being, very conservative, that uniform, but we knew once we put on that uniform, the Jamaican colors, we are going out to represent. And, the four young ladies, the four of us, I mean, not young ladies, but the four of us ladies, let me tell you, we were together. And I mean, that spirit and, Aileen, the vibes and, Veronica, the prior master. So we had to go out there and we represented well. And we were so happy when we got that gold medal because we knew that we had it in us to do it. And we were so happy to do it for our country.
Give some advice to maybe some young female athletes and even young women in sports in general who might want a career from it, but might not see themselves breaking through some of the barriers that yourself and many others have gone through. So I'd love if you could just give some advice to them to let them know that it can be done.
Yes, it can be done. And also it is a lot of work, a lot of patience, and just knowing that every day is not going to be all nice and rosy. Those days will come when you're going to have a lot of challenges, but you just have to know that, be patient, continue to believe in yourself, stay grounded, because, today it's good, tomorrow you don't know what can happen. So you just have to just be grounded and just to know that, once you work hard, you will see those results that you want. It's just about, believing in God and to know that whatever it is, He will help you through, and just know that whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve it.
Honestly, I just want to coach. I truly want to coach, like thinking of ideas and ways to help young athletes or just athletes on a whole get better. Those things keep me up at night. Those things wake me up. My love for photography doesn't do that. And I know that I love photography, but I know what my purpose is. And I know that I have to live my purpose, because this is truly a part of what I am here to do, I believe. So that is what I want to do. But of course, photography is my peace. When I want to get some peace or and I have to be inspired too. I can't just go out and just take pictures. I really have to be inspired, because I could take 1,000 pictures and don't like any. So I truly have to be inspired to do it. But track, I don't have to be inspired to do it. It is just in me to just coach.
Yeah, I know that your team, the West Coast Fever, didn't win it all, but you had an amazing year. You scored almost 900 goals, which seems absolutely ridiculous to me. And not saying that you are old, but you are 32, and it seems that you have been getting better with age. Has that sort of surprised you, whereas we've seen netballers in the past kind of declined, or athletes in general decline as they pass that 30 mark, but you just seem to be getting better?
Listen, I think a little bit of wine. I think it's netball, and I have to give credit to the position that I play. In the goal shooting position, you have a little bit more lifespan. And it's how you take care of yourself and just how you want it. I have to give myself a lot of credit for the work that I put in order to still be on top, in order to continue to be good. And players do decline and do go down, but it's just what you want, and I reckon how you treat your body that helps you to stay in the game much longer.
Yeah, you've, as I mentioned, you've been named Player of the Year 4 seasons running down in Australia. But here in Jamaica, you don't, to me, you don't seem to get that fair share, because the National Sportswoman of the Year awards nominees came out, and you aren't on the list, and it's rare when we see netballers even make the list. Does it disappoint you that you don't get that recognition from our local associations here, our local bodies here?
In a small sense, it does, but then because I'm so used to netball not being recognized, and because we're told that we're not playing as much games throughout the years as the athletes who run a lot more and put up a lot more work. So I guess it's something that I just know it is what it is. You get me? I don't really let it bother me. I just keep letting my performance speak for itself and just continue to make myself proud, really.
Everybody has the same perception of you. Like how sometimes you can misread people, but everybody sees you as this jovial, very hearty character. Because I think I even read an article where your mother was saying, like, at school you used to give pure trouble, but not bad trouble. You're just always in the gimmicks. Like, how did you become that type of person and still be able to be so disciplined at your craft?
Yeah, funny enough, it's my mom, like she all right, is that a lady? You don't never know, so she get joke and funny unless you know her. Like she always a walk around with this ugly face, you know what I mean? Like she don't want people to talk to her about, like, our friends, like, who know her. So it was kind of the same thing for me. So I really and truly, I just never cared what people think, if you know what I mean. So I came from a very rough household, like, in terms of, like, weakness, like, emotional, like, things like that. Weakness, like, we just laugh off at each other, like, if you ball too much and all that. And so it was always like everybody smile, but nobody never really get joke like how me get joke, because I love make people smile, honestly. And I don't know, it just worked for me. As in, me just feel like at this point in my life, I've always been this person, but as in, like, people are gonna like it either way. Like, it's either them like you or them don't like you. I'm gonna tell people, so, like, no matter how good you are, you're probably the villain of somebody's story.
True.
So you just have to just be yourself.
Great words to end there from Frederick Bakers. Be yourself, because you might just be a villain in somebody's story. I know that I'm a villain in somebody's story, for sure. And some of you might be, but as long as you are a hero to your own story, you say, oh my God, philosophical. I hate when you give me this straight face. Anyways, thank you to every single guest who gave me their time during the week and on Saturdays, because I know it's not necessarily an ideal time, but to everybody, I wish I could have played an interview from every single person, but I'm just extremely grateful to every single person who gave me their time on the show. Two people who give me a lot of time, Tiffany Wong and Kathia Davis. They are going to I'm going to tell them what they're going to do after the break. But please stay with us as we approach the final 15 minutes here on Sports Talk. So stay with us.
At Flow, we are determined to get it right. Now, over 60% of Jamaica has access to our fiber fast network, with over 800 communities being upgraded since 2020. And there's more to come. Everything we're doing is inspired by our harshest critic, you. Join Jamaica's fiber fast network and rediscover Flow today.
Hate long wait times at the pharmacy? Me too! Well, I found Marshall's Pharmacy, located at Pathfinder Plaza, Greater Portmore. Great customer service, shorter wait times, all the local and international brands I want, plus print services powered by Print Corner. WhatsApp your prescriptions to 876-491-7841 and follow them on Instagram at Marshall's Pharmacy. Visit Marshall's Pharmacy in Greater Portmore today. They're open late every day, even on public holidays.
Starts the school year right with the Chris and Charles Smart Start Back to School promotion. Borrow up to $3 million. You could win $1 million and nominate your child for a $50,000 grant. Yes, call 876-920-4189 or visit www.chrisandcharles.com for details. Promotion runs August 1, 2023 to September 29, 2023. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
Tiles, tiles, and more tiles. It's the Totally Tiles sales event at Home and Things. Enjoy up to 50% off our entire huge selection of tiles. Top quality Spanish and Brazilian porcelain and ceramic tiles. Contemporary, traditional, or wood. We have your style. Check out our new arrivals of large format tiles at unbelievably low prices. Plus, other items discounted store-wide. Catch the Totally Tiles sales event now on at Home and Things. Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road. Lots of tiles, lots of styles.
Planning to sit the January CXC CSEC exams privately? Register with Overseas Examinations Commission before the registration deadline, October 13, 2023. Visit our Kingston office or Montego Bay office to complete your application form or send an email to help@overseasexams.org.jm. Follow our social media pages at Overseas Exams for more details. Remember, if you plan to sit the January CXC CSEC exams privately, the registration deadline is October 13, 2023.
Hi, I'm Shelly and Fraser Price, and you're listening to Love FM, the family station.
Welcome back to Sports Talk here on Love 101, the family station. It is my final show here. It is not the final Sports Talk. I like to clarify that because, like I've been saying, Sports Talk has had a rich history of hosts and it will continue. So please don't think that this is the last Sports Talk. This is just my final Sports Talk before I have to do some other business. And I promise you that even though I might not tell you my business on air, you will see, trust me, I promise you that you will see me. If you don't see me, then something wrong. All right, so let me read the comments before I bring in Tiffany and Katia. They're panicking. Don't know for why. All right, let me read from Anisha on WhatsApp saying, I'm a regular listener of your program. Anisha, is the first time I hear about you. Thank you so much. I'm really going to miss your voice on Sports Talk. I pray God's continued coverage and guidance wherever you're going. God bless you, my brother. Thank you so much for that. This one is from, I'm not sure your name, and you send yourself at Anfield Yak. Saying I'm one of those silent listeners that have thoroughly enjoyed your in-depth and array of persons from the sporting world. I pray God's continued blessings in your next journey. Please don't ever send me a Liverpool picture because you ruined the lovely, lovely greeting with that. It must be so difficult being a Liverpool fan. Angela says, Daniel certainly will be missing you. I'm a silent listener. I have a lot of silent listeners, you know. Cherry saying, no one or the devil can stop the purpose. Amen. Laverne saying, I enjoy listening to your program on Saturday. Very interesting, and it helps me to understand more about the different sports. May the Lord continue to bless you wherever you go. Thank you so much. This one, this person sent me about herbal health and wellness. I maybe need some of that, because Joan from Mandeville says, what I love about you, you're so disciplined. Please keep that. Love your show, and I miss your program. Them can tell some discipline from doing this. Oh my gosh. Again, make me cry for real. Yolanda saying, blessing sportsman Brown. Mina Brown. I remember most, if not all, the interviews that you have done, and the touching one, or the one that stands out most for me, is the one with Karen Stewart. She has the vision for herself, well focused, and a God based system that is keeping her. So I know Yolanda really listened, because that wasn't in the interview. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Her first time texting on the program, but always listening. That's amazing. Enough silent listener may have. This one from Olga saying, by the way, you're just moving up to another level. As captain of your own boat, you will do well because it's your dream come true. Regular silent listener. Thank you, Olga. This one says, if we don't see you, we will hear you. Trust me, I guarantee you that you will. And then here on YouTube and Facebook, Natalie saying, you will be missed, but I wish you all the best. Vinette saying, may the Lord God continue to bless you and your family. And it's her first time listening. Thank you so much, Vinette. Veronica Chubb, Jukal, who didn't allow me to sing this morning, saying devil lose again. Eloni Taylor saying, all the best, Daniel. Wish you all good. And Gladys saying, happy Saturday, missing you, but you have to be obedient to your call and move on to whatever your call is. I wish for you a successful and great journey for you. Rita Hines, we're not gonna talk today, saying I'm a listener too. God bless you on your endeavors. Yeah. So, two people. Let me start off with Tiffany Wong, who I'm gonna tell one of the secrets that I told I would tell you. The first few weeks, because I produced radio shows in the past, sometimes they're, guests, like many of you are silent listeners, so you throw out calls and tell people to text in and whatever. Tiffany was, apart from my wife, Tiffany always sent in messages. Literally always. And I remember one time Tiffany disguised her voice and called the show.
What? Listen, I'm just doing what a friend does. I just had to,
I'm dead serious.
I believed in him and people didn't know who he was at the time. And I wanted people to, be interested and be like, hold on, he's making a lot of sense. So I did what any real friend would do. Send in multiple messages, send my family to send multiple messages and call.
Love that.
Like literally, I had to. And it's because she was talking about something serious, but I was laughing the entire way through because I know that it's Tiffany. Tiffany knows it's Tiffany, but Uno don't know it's Tiffany. And then Kathia, who the first time I had you on, Kathia, was when we were talking about the Reggae Boys something in February of 2022, but then I had you on for the World Champs quiz.
Right,
with
Shivani, correct.
And then after that, you actually started here.
Correct.
And during December, when I was out for the World Cup, Kathia hosted the show and hosted it very, very well. Anytime I call Kathia, she's always been available. So I wanted two of you here to let you know that I really appreciate you guys. Literally anytime you are available. I remember even Katia one time you did over country and you did just in the room. Because remember, and you something did all purple.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
And Tiffany can never get a drive, but she always find herself here. So
I just want people to know that I drive. I have a license, but I can just never.
But Tiffany always finds herself
No, we have
here.
to show up. We have to show
So
have to.
I thank you too so much. So I'm gonna do two things. One, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to ask me a question, sports related or sports talk related, and then that will allow me to do what I actually planned for you. I know that I have about how much more minutes to go?
6.
Yeah, but
don't these surprises, right?
all right. So who want to start? You are Kat.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been what, 22 months?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think you could have said almost 2 years. It's almost like when people have a baby and say, "Oh, he's 19 months."
And I'm like, hold on.
19?
Like,
What?
yeah.
Just yeah.
But I mean, what has the journey been for you? I know, well, I know your journey because obviously we've known each other for a while now. And you coming to love kind of gave you your own space to be Daniel. What really has that? Because that has opened many doors for you. Having to just give your opinion, undiluted opinion, I call it.
Yeah, it's been a great journey, and I don't use that as a cliche because I have seen what it has done for me, not just professionally but personally. Um, and there are some days when it's extremely difficult, and I know that I talk about my wife a lot. But there are days when she end up planning the show for me, it sounds ridiculous, but even though she don't really plan it, but she plan it. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
They're right.
And yeah, it's been so good, and I wish I could tell some of the other stories because part of the reason why I was on the World Cup coverage and one of the reasons why my future opportunity has worked out is because of Sports Talk. So I'll be forever grateful to Mrs. Beckles and Mrs. Blair and everybody here at Love for allowing me to literally be myself. I can't be anybody else apart from me. So yeah. All right, that's Kathy's question. Your turn.
So my question: if you could have a sit down talk, like no questions barred, just like full on heart to heart interview with any athlete, dead or alive.
No, you
who would
can't
it
say
be?
dead.
No,
Gosh.
he's not
Oh
alive.
my
I know
gosh.
he's good. I'm just saying.
Oh
I'm
my
giving him the
gosh.
opportunity. Dead or okay, give me one that has passed and one that's alive.
Has
No
to be.
hold bars.
It has to be Kobe.
Mhm.
If dead, well, not if dead.
Dead.
Just
Rest
say
in peace, Kobe.
right.
But alive would be Shelly, which is an untold story because
It's okay. It's
should
coming.
I tell that?
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shelly has, through her reps, have confirmed. But Shelly super busy, Shelly is super busy. But I would love the opportunity to do it, and not just to talk about her as an athlete, but one as a Wilmarian, Agekodagis, but just as a mother. Even though people love to do those interviews with her, but I feel like I have some other questions that some people haven't answered. So yeah, that's the question. By the way, KG, you don't mind if I take 5 minutes of your time on the train? Oh yeah, man, we're good.
Well, one person.
Oh, God bless you, Bert. All right. So the final thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do elimination, right? So elimination is where once you say a wrong answer, you get one strike, and 3 strikes and you're out.
This is the same quiz thing that you
Don't
had
worry.
us do and we weren't.
No. It's gonna be very easy. All you have to do is each person has to tell me a guest from Sports Talk. Now, as I mentioned, Sports Talk for me from December 2021 up until last week, September 14. I don't know maths.
Okay.
17, 18. It has to be 8. 23 minus 7.
That's okay.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, right.
All right. So, all right, Katha, you started. So this time, Tiffany, you started. And remember, we played the video
We're
earlier.
gonna go with your first one, Asafa boy.
Asafa, correct.
Sharon.
Sharon, yes.
Karen.
Yes.
Janelle.
Yes.
Alia.
Yes.
Frederick.
Yes.
Janae. She's been a guest on the show.
Yes, true.
What's her name? Dream journalist. Dreamy
Yes,
journalist.
true.
Trishana.
Yes.
Kadim. Is it his name? Is no. Well, Kadim's brother. I don't know his name. He the tall.
All right, I'm gonna give it to you, Kimani. Yes.
Right.
Kathia, yes.
God. Oh God. My brain is pulling a blank. Jesus.
5.
Oh God. Stop.
3,
Stop.
2,
Stop.
1. All right, that's your first strike, Kathia.
Your mother has been on the show.
True. Yes.
Has your brother been on the show? I feel like he's done something.
All right. Yes. 5,
This
4,
man.
3,
Um.
2,
What's
1.
the?
All right, strike
Okay.
for
Has
Katia.
Excel been on the show?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I remember that too.
I'm racking my brain. Good God.
What's the? There's this. I don't know.
5, 4,
Daniel, don't
3,
Daniel.
2, 1.
Daniel.
All right, 2 strikes for Katia.
Oh my God, Daniel.
Hold on.
Okay, I remember.
5, 4,
What you showing me?
2, 1 strike for
Not
Tiffany.
good under pressure.
Yeah.
Shivani.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not good under pressure.
Tiffany, 1 more strike and you're out. 5 seconds.
No, I'm out because I'm
5,
not. I don't do
4.
this pressure
You could have just called somebody in sports,
Jerome Foster.
And Katia, once again, you beat Tiffany.
Okay, because I was.
You know who I was trying to remember? What's that other girl that was on when we were talking about reggae girls?
Me?
I don't remember.
No, it wasn't you. Do the last one when my screen was purple.
Hey, Katia. I know what you're talking.
I don't know the name. Okay, you don't remember.
I've done this show for almost 2 years. No, we can't.
Oh God, it's probably like, no, that's wrong. And he probably had
Kadish, there we go.
Yes, Kadish.
See, it's because my brain freeze.
No.
But
you see how it feels when you put under pressure?
Yeah,
you didn't give us any.
No, and
like you
I would
always
not.
do this to us.
And how would you have studied for it apart from going through all the episodes on
it would
YouTube
have
and
given
Facebook?
we would have thought about
Anyways,
time
guys,
to,
come
You know what? But Daniel, I just want to
go on.
say,
Yes.
so on behalf of the Love One On family, as in my official capacity as office administrator, we appreciate you a lot. Thank you so much for serving. Thank you so much for keeping Sports Talk alive and bringing fresh and new ideas to Sports Talk. And we hope we'll be able to, through the new host, whomever that is, be able to carry on this great tradition that you've started here on the family station. So from our family, the Love 101 family, to your family, all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Naga ball.
No tears.
But yeah, and that is it. Yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support, to all the silent listeners and the loud listeners, to everybody who has left messages, comments, who stopped me in the road. One woman did stop me at church and talk to me for about 14 minutes. Thank you so much to every single person. I'll truly miss it here on Love. Thank you to KG, who has, been a huge support for me, Deidre, everybody who I've worked with during this time. Hopefully in the future I will be back. Who knows what God has in store, but I promise you will hear from me throughout. So thank you to everybody again, and remember, enjoy your weekend, enjoy the rest of your year, enjoy the rest of your years to come, God willing, and as always, watch some sports.